weeks ago, I'll go Kenya. It's the board, our food on tier, our food tipper down. I would like to pay my rich and fullest compliments to the board members and the staff and management teams at each and every credit union in Tipperary. We start in Carrick-on-Shore, up to Clonmel, and indeed out to Cahir and on to Tipperary, and even sub-offices in Bancha and the sub-offices in Alfinnan. I know Hollyford, and on to Thurles and all the towns up North Tip as well. The work they do. Because banks literally don't want people inside in them anymore. The banks have gone automated. They don't want to tell her to meet anybody. You can't find a manager. You can't find anybody else. So the banks have abandoned the people, even though the people are paying with their sweat and blood and hard-earned blood and taxes to bail out the banks. It's disgusting what the way the banks have treated the people. Yes, Deputy Conn said we did take action last year to stop them going cashless. But for how long? Because their intention is to help the people. If you're not plastic card now, or if you're not a number, forget about it. And people have to transact business in the banks at a little machine there. No privacy, none whatsoever. And that's the treatment they get. But the credit unions are different. We met the credit unions. We invited them to meet our rural independents to help us out with the EU directive scheme, especially if we're going to Belfast. And the countless people that have been sent up. And the credit union came on board and offered that bridging loan. And nobody, I believe, has been refused that. Nobody's been refused to keep their houses warm, keep their houses done up, small loans and everything else. Something in this bill I don't like. It's allowing credit unions to providing the establishment of corporate credit unions. The word corporate frightens me, because we see what corporate Ireland has done to the people of this country. We see what corporate International has done. We see what's gone on in corporate. So I'd be very dubious and suspicious about the word corporate. We were almost forced in Clonmel some years ago to link up with a credit union against the wishes of the members in Clonmel with Charleville and Cork. Didn't happen, thankfully, and the local knowledge and people supporting each other, the sense of the Mehel, keep the corporates out of it. We brought in motions before you here to bring in the sparkles and models that they have in Germany and indeed the Kiwi Bank that they have in New Zealand. But would you want it? No. They are lending to ordinary people. Every day of the week they lend and they keep going. And I was pleasantly surprised to find that 90% of businesses in Germany are small businesses, and they support them all. And the profits go into the community. But of course that wouldn't do in greedy corporate Ireland. And the men that we celebrate 100 years dying, Liam Lynch at the 10th of April, and others that fought for this country. But the corporate greed has come in now, and it has tentacles everywhere. So keep them out of the credit unions. What I say to you, I won't be supporting any with corporate inside it for the credit unions, and that's one thing sure and certain, because the people in the credit unions and the vision that the boards had and the managers had and the friendly staff and the way they look after the people, and that's what we want. People look after people and take them out of holes, whether it be a funeral, whether it be a sickness, whether it be a home grading scheme, or whether it be a new car loan or whatever. Not one of the fancy cars that you're trying to force on people, but an ordinary car. We were told to buy diesel some years ago, and we were told to buy petrol, and now we're told that they're toxic. But the corporate movement moves on, taking your orders from WEF, taking your orders from Europe, and to hell with Nadine and Ahern. Shocked in the Gaelic, you don't care about our language. Pádraig Pearse said a nation is not a nation without its language, and it's not. But I can tell you, we don't need corporates inside in credit unions. We want the boards to be allowed to work, to give their voluntary time, to give their assessments of knowing the people and the knowledge, and to give their expertise and a friendly staff, and gawked in a sauce to let you shin. So why break something? This is the third or fourth attack that you have had. The banks are jealous of the credit unions, and that's the whole story.